Okay, everyone, welcome back to Basics. It's just going to be 1 week to you, but it's actually been like a month since we've recorded. And we are now finished the educational side of things. So no more preaching from me. You should be happy to see. But now we're going to get into kind of the real important stuff, right? The trading plan building. Anyone who's listened to me for any length of time will tell you that I do what Chicago Sean likes to call trading plan shaming, where people will come to me and say, what should I do with Tesla? And I say, what is your trading plan, right? So it's just like if you were opening a business, you would have a plan. You wouldn't just say, I'm going to open this business and have at it, right? You'd have some sort of plan, and that's what we're going to build with you now. So again, if you guys are new here, this is the end of 40-ish episodes of this. So, go check out the channel. There's a playlist. Links are in the description below for Jess's channel, for my channel, for the playlist of the series, for my email account to save money on trade ideas, which is what Jess is going to be using going forward. And I just want to take a second to talk about, after these next two lessons, what the series is going to turn into, where we're going to put Jess on Trade Ideas Simulated account. And she's going to be making some weekly swing trades, and we're going to kind of be wrapping everything up there as well. So quickly, I just want to go and say over to this slide. This is where you follow us all, right? So above is my YouTube channel and my Twitter, and this is Jess's YouTube channel and Twitter as well. So go give us a follow there if you want to keep up with when videos go live. I always tweet them out and everything like this. So let's get over to our lesson here today. Today I'm going to ask you the questions that I think have to be asked in order to get to work building a trading plan. You're going to answer them kind of in theory right now, but when we meet next week, so after your first round of live trades, you'll actually have this filled out and we'll go over it with the people, what you decided. So. Okay. So the first is, what are your goals? And we're up here. I'll try to highlight a bit as we go. So what are your goals? And that's always the first thing I ask any trading, mentoring client. Any of the people I mentor will tell you this, is because depending on your goals, everything's going to change, right? If you want to trade full-time for a living and it's all you want to do, you need to pursue it in one path. If it's something that you want to do as like a part-time job or a secondary income, there's something else that you would like to do, whether that's even stay-at-home mom, or you want to continue with your normal job, or you want to work for charities and make, right? If it's a secondary income, that's another thing. The last little bit is account growth for the future, right? Maybe you're okay with where you are working now, but you want to build a trading account and learn the skill so that down the road, when it's time to retire, or when it's time to just leave, you have both the finances built up and the skill built up, so that's something that you can do going forward, right? So I think I know, I may have even answered these for you. It's been a long time since I wrote this, to be honest, guys. But I say, most people want to just jump in trading for a living without proper experience and capital, and this is doomed to failure. I see it all the time, and you probably even noticed it as well. When I went and I left working for the hedge funds and I started trading for the living, the immense amount of stress that then put on me, you laugh, but it was, of going from something where I was trading and being successful trading, but I always had that other income to focus on, to then, now this is what I need to do to live, right? And it creates, so I could only imagine someone without my experience jumping into that, how much harder that would be for them. I had already been trading for years at this point. What do you think your primary goal of trading would be? Is it more account building? We can get into, there's tax implications and everything that are going to be important with this as well, but what's the goal?
The goal?
Yeah, like why are you interested in trading?
It was just to learn something new, in all honesty.
Okay.
That's what it started as.
So then you would probably put yourself into like either the account growth or secondary income stream,
Yeah.
right? Where it's not, you don't see yourself devoting your entire existence to trading, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with
Who knows? I might who knows?
Well, and that's the way I always suggest everyone do it, right? Is trade, but then do whatever you do that feeds you at the same time. And then as your trading income starts to grow and kind of supersede the other income, then maybe that's when you try to switch. So for now, what we're going to try to do is a combination between, mainly we're going to focus on the account growth thing, because you're going to start in Sim. And then from there, I'm going to fund you once you're profitable in Sim with a small amount of money. But remember, in one of the last lessons, we went to this R multiple trading.
Yes, I remember.
Right? Which is how these accounts can grow quickly. So the goal is, I start you with a $10,000 account, and then maybe over years, as you're building the skill, that account also builds. There's YouTube channels out there. I made 150 grand today, and it took me an hour. Okay, so first we're gonna focus on account growth for the future, right? And then from there, it's probably going to be a secondary income source, right? You don't foresee right now that this would ever be something that, like me, where I come into this office and I spend the whole day doing this kind of stuff. You don't see yourself there yet, right? Again, that's why this is so important, is because the people at home, right? Someone say, well, I want to do it for a living. Or someone says, no, I just want it to purely, I don't need an account growth, right? Maybe they have a large account and they just want a secondary income source. A lot of people are retirees, for example, and they want to supplement their income while retired, right? So it's important to outlay the goal, because it kind of, everything else after it is required. So next is the time to devote. And I have a plan with you, especially, but this is important. It's like, when can you scan? When can you trade? What time can you take out of your life? And this is going to be different for everybody. And it's also going to be different based on location. So, trade ideas, and even the guy who runs our room, remember you were saying the other day with Barry about how he's got the greatest schedule ever.
Yeah.
Because the market opens at 6:30 a.m. for him. And if he wasn't running a room, he would be done by 9 or 10 every day, right? He wouldn't, he's there all day because he keeps the room open. So it's going to depend on where you are. Now, we don't have nearly as good of a time zone because the market opens at 10:30 for us, but it means we get that extra hour at the end of the day. So again, for you guys, when you're building, right, the reason we're doing this, when you're building this trading plan, is to show you guys that you have to think of these things. If you're over in Europe, for example, maybe you work your job all day and you can kind of spend that last hour or so of the day, when you're probably not that productive anyway, coming up with a market. So for Jess, she works as a dental hygienist and she works a lot. And sometimes, there's days that are off completely, and then there's sometimes that are 12-hour days. So days that you wouldn't even really be able to, other than maybe on your phone, check the markets, right? This is important, and I say here, trading is a very front-loaded job, which means that all of, it's to the point now where you see kind of my nightly scanning you and you guys, now that I'm live streaming it every Tuesdays and Thursdays at, you've got a plug, right?
I know, okay.
At 4:30 Eastern time, I stream for an hour of my nightly routine. And that's pretty much all that I do for this particular trading style. But again, that's why I want to talk about the front-loaded work, which essentially just means I've spent years getting to the point where I can work for an hour or two a day, right? And it'll be the same kind of thing. Your plan that I have for you is that on Sunday nights, you're going to pick, 2 long stocks and 2 short stocks, to have them traded by the Trade Ideas robot throughout the week. And I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. You're going to let them go all week, and then Friday you're going to sell them, and then you're going to go from there. But for you guys, it has to be, where do I live? What can I do, right? If I live in the West Coast, do I want to trade for maybe that first hour or two of the day and then go to work, right? Do I want to, what is my time frame? And that's going to determine what trading style you have. Because if you have all day, say you're a coder and you sit in front of a computer all day and you could focus on the markets, maybe you want to go a little bit more day trading. If you're someone who has, you work on a construction site or something like that, you want to be more focused on swing trading, because I'm sure you can't have a laptop in front of you the entire time, right? So you need to focus on these things, right? So I basically answered that question for you. Style. So style is a lot of what we talked here, and I've answered this one for you as well, but
you're making it real easy.
Well, right, plus again 40 episodes ish we've done together, and go check them all out. I think it's a really good series. Are you a trend trader? Are you a counter trend trader, which is people that are trying to pick tops and bottoms? Are you a pullback or a pattern trader? Again, all of these are important because you have to write these down. And part of the problem, what I always equate it to every time is diet, right? I could give you whatever the perfect optimal diet is, but if you don't, write down your own rules and it's something you're not going to stick to, then it doesn't matter, right? So this is the same with your trading plan. You're going to fill all of this out yourself. Like under time to devote, you're going to delete what I wrote and you're going to write, I am going to spend this time doing this, and I'm going to, under style, right? I've kind of trained you as a trend pattern trader. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to look for these patterns, and this is how I'm going to define a trend.
I like support and resistance too.
Okay, well then you are a support and resistance trader. Well, again, it doesn't matter what, I don't want you to do what I do. I want you to do whatever makes the most sense to you. But it has to be written down of, this is what I'm going to trade. I'm going to trade, with the trend. So I want stocks that are going up if I'm going to buy them, and I want them to pull back and get to support, right? Or I need them to break resistance. And, you take a couple screenshots of charts that you like and you put them in there so you can see them. But it's just to have this plans that you can always go back to, because, again, there'll be times where everything you do is great, and there'll be times that everything that you do is shit. And it's the probabilistic nature of the market. So you have to have a plan that you can go back to and say, say you have a really bad week, right? First thing you do is you go back to your trading plan and you list all of the things. Did I devote the time that I'd written down to it? How did I trade the patterns in which I have under my style? Did I trade with my style, or did I trade against my style, right? Because if you did exactly what your trading plan said and you lost, that's still good, right? We still count that as a good week, because the law of averages means you're going to lose, as we talked about, half your trades. So sometimes it means if you take 4 trades that week, you're going to have 4 losers, right? It's just the nature of it. It means sometimes 2-3 weeks in a row, that's what's going to happen, and that's fine, right? But if you lose and you go back and you look at your trading plan and you didn't do any of it, you didn't devote the hour or two on Sunday nights to do it, right? Say you didn't hold them till Friday like you were planning, but you just exited one early for some reason. And all of the things, they had nothing to do with support and resistance. You were trading against the trend. You were breaking all the rules. Then even if you made money, it sucks, right? Hold time, right? So this is whether or not, and this one's kind of obvious for you.
Wait, it says I'm going to use candlesticks and moving averages?
Yes, you will. We'll in the next week's video, where no, I'm just going to, because you've always had this problem with it where you're like, well, what's the trend?
Yeah.
Right? Because, sometimes you're zoomed in and, it looks like an uptrend, and you zoom out and it looks like a downtrend. And again, we're going to go over this for you guys. After this, the game plan is we're going to sit down every weekend and go over your trades. So everything I've taught you midweek is going to be summarized in those. So we're going to use a moving average. It's going to be simple, right? We're going to define an uptrend as above this moving average with this line pointing up. And again, we're going to go all over in the next lesson with your checklist kind of thing. So then what's your hold time, right? That's important. So
a week.
Right. Your hold time is you're gonna plug them into the Trade Ideas robot, right? And then you're going to close them if they've opened on Friday. Not all of them may. So for you, it's a week. But again, for the people.
But what if I come Friday and it's doing well and I want to keep it? Do I have to close it?
To begin with, yeah. We're going to keep pretty hard rules. Now, going forward, no. Right? We're going to develop exit rules to say as long as it's above this moving average, you stay in. Right? It's everything's going to be very systematic. But for now, I just want you to get a routine, right? I want you to get a routine of this is what I'm going to do over and over and over again. When you get that routine, then we can start modifying that routine. So yeah, for your hold time, and again, I'm still going to go over it for everyone else, but are you planning on day trading or swing trading or position trading? And position trading is like 6-month holds, right? You're like, I really like Tesla. I like the story of Tesla. I like this. And then I like this really long-term chart pattern. Let me take Tesla and I'll know whether or not it's a good trade or a bad trade 6 months from now. Good for long-term investments, good for people with very little time to devote. Not, in my opinion, the most profitable at all. But again, you have to, right? That's why I'm saying every question stacks on top of the questions above it, right? And, I just kind of put definitions here for people. Day traders look to profit off a stock's one-day movement. Swing traders are looking for within the same week or, 2-3 weeks. Position traders are holding for a month or longer, and then investors are a year or longer, right? Then the other thing is, well, how will you exit, right? So we have your trading style, which is how you're going to get in. We have how long you're going to hold, and we're going to have how your exit is. And then I have a specific plan for you. We'll go over down there in a second. So mostly there's two kinds of exit. There's hard targets or trailing stops. So remember, hard targets are just, I'm going to buy the stock at 10. If it gets to 12, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right, and that's it. A trailing stop is, I'm going to, as the stock moves higher, I'm going to pull my stop up, and then if it wants to go, and this is what you were talking about down the road when everything's sorted, right, you could raise that stop up for a month. If you're in a great trade and it's just going up for a month, you raise it up for a month. If you're in for a couple days, you're in for a couple days. The reason we're doing the Monday to Friday thing is just so that we can come back here and I can critique those trades, and we have trades to talk about every week. And then after a month or so of doing that, you'll be on your own channel, because she still says she's going to make videos at some point. And then from there, if, a couple months of profit and you're on real money, away you go. So I always like the concept, again, for the people, I always like the concept of the trailing stop versus the hard stop, because I really don't like, this is something we'll go big for, I don't like the fact that you're capping your winners. So I'm sure I've talked to you about the 80-20 principle, the Pareto. It's like 80% of all peas in a harvest come from 20% of pea pods. It's like this universal in business. It's, 80% of your money is made from 20% of your clients. Most traders will say the exact same thing about their trades, that 80% of all of the money they make comes from 20% of their trades. But if you just say, listen, I'm going to buy the stock at 10, if it gets to 12, I'm just immediately out, then you're capping that risk. Where, again, for me, my year is made off, 10, 20, 30 trades, that the thing just went forever. So that's why we're going to switch to that different style. Now, your just specific plan, and this may be adjusted a little bit, but so just plan to start at swing trading support and resistance. So I guess you already told me that sometime before we had done this. Risking 1%.
Oh, I can do patterns too, can I?
Yeah. Well, okay. Remember, patterns are just moving support resistance lines, right? You're going to risk 1% of the value of your account with your stop under support, right? So you're going to start with a $100,000 account. So you're going to risk $1,000 on every trade. Now, in the real world, you're going to probably start with a $10,000 account, and I'm going to risk you're going to risk $100 on every trade. And then using the 20 EMA to trail stops, and we'll go over that when we sit down at the thing, but that's going to be the line that you use to say if this line is pointed up, and the stock is above it, then I'm going to count it as an uptrend. And if it's pointing down and the stock's below it, I'm going to count it as a downtrend. If it's pointing sideways, then there's no trend. I'm not interested, right? And then this line will follow price. So what you'll do is you'll sit down, not during the first experience, but you'll sit down, you'll just open your laptop once a day, and you'll move the stop under that line. You'll close your laptop and go on. So you're talking
Once a day.
Well, yeah, going forward. Originally, it's going to be Monday to Friday, but going forward, but it's literally you'll open your laptop, you'll move maybe 2 stops around, you'll close it. So you're talking an hour of work on the weekend and 30 seconds of work every day.
Okay.
Right, so it's pretty straightforward. Okay, guys, so that's it for this one. So we're going to do one more where we're actually going to go through your trading checklist, which is then I'm going to send to you. It's going to be on your laptop right next to your thing, and before you place every trade, you'll go through the checklist. Right? Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Yes, take the trade. If it breaks somewhere along the way, move on to another trade. Right? Now we're going from theory and all of this to very systematic plan building and how you build a trading plan. So again, I hope this is valuable to you guys as well. I think this is the most important. It might not be the most interesting, but I think it's the most important part of trading. So again, like everyone, YouTube emails me once a week and says only 30% of people that watch your video are subscribed to your channel. So I'm supposed to tell you guys to subscribe to my channel. So we'll do that as well. And again, check out the playlist below, and also check out the trade ideas of what we're going to be using the sim for. There's a code there that saves you a couple bucks, and it helps out the channel to make that money. So anything left to say?
No.
All right. Bye, guys.